Watermelon is one of the most widely consumed fruits in the world, but its origins trace back thousands of years to northeastern Africa. Early watermelons were not the sweet, juicy fruit people know today. Instead, they were smaller, harder, and much more bitter, grown primarily as a source of water in dry regions. Over time, selective breeding transformed the fruit, increasing its sugar content and turning its flesh from pale and fibrous into the deep red, crisp texture now associated with modern varieties. The fruit is composed of over 90% water, which explains its refreshing quality. The structure of watermelon flesh is made up of tightly packed cells that hold large amounts of liquid, giving it that signature snap when bitten into. Its sweetness comes primarily from natural sugars like fructose and glucose, while compounds such as lycopene give it its red color and also act as antioxidants. Despite its simplicity, watermelon cultivation requires careful control of temperature and water. Too much moisture can dilute its flavor, while too little can stunt its growth.
Today, it exists in many forms,
including seedless varieties, which are created through a controlled hybridization process rather than genetic modification. Cantaloupe, often recognized by its rough, netted rind and orange flesh, is believed to have originated in regions spanning from South Asia to Africa before spreading across Europe. The name cantaloupe comes from Cantaloupe, a town in Italy where the fruit was cultivated in the 1700s after being introduced from Armenia. Over time, it became one of the most popular melons in Western diets. The interior flesh is soft, juicy, and highly aromatic, largely due to volatile compounds that develop as the fruit ripens. These compounds are responsible for its distinctive sweet, musky scent. The texture is less firm than watermelon, with a more delicate cell structure that breaks down easily, releasing juice with each bite. Cantaloupes are rich in beta-carotene, which gives the flesh its orange color and contributes to its nutritional value. However, they are also more sensitive to handling and storage than many other melons. Because the rind has a netted surface, it can trap bacteria if not properly cleaned, which has made it a concern in food safety discussions. Despite this, cantaloupe remains a staple fruit, valued for its balance of sweetness and aroma, especially when fully ripened under controlled conditions. Honeydew melon is known for its smooth pale rind and light green flesh, offering a much milder and more subtle flavor compared to other melons. It likely originated in the Middle East or West Africa and later spread through trade routes into Europe and Asia. Unlike cantaloupe, which relies heavily on aroma, honeydew is prized for its clean, gentle sweetness. The flesh of a honeydew is dense and smooth, with smaller, more uniform cells that give it a slightly firmer bite. Its sweetness develops late in the ripening process, which means that a honeydew picked too early can taste bland or watery. This has contributed to its mixed reputation, as quality varies greatly depending on harvest timing. Honeydew contains high levels of natural sugars, primarily sucrose, which gives it a more rounded and less sharp sweetness. It also has a high water content, though slightly less than watermelon, resulting in a texture that is both refreshing and substantial. Because of its relatively neutral flavor profile, honeydew is often used to balance stronger fruits in mixed dishes. When grown and harvested correctly, however, it stands on its own as a smooth, subtly sweet melon with a clean finish. The Galia melon is a hybrid variety developed in Israel during the 20th century as part of an effort to create a melon that combined the best qualities of existing types. It is a cross between a cantaloupe and a honeydew, resulting in a fruit with a netted rind, similar to cantaloupe but with green flesh like honeydew. The flavor of Galia melon is notably sweet and aromatic, often described as more intense than either of its parent varieties. The flesh is soft and juicy, with a high sugar content that develops quickly as the fruit ripens. Its aroma is particularly strong, making it easy to identify even before cutting it open. One of the defining features of the Galia melon is its short shelf life. Once ripe, it must be consumed relatively quickly, as the sugars can begin to ferment and the texture can break down. This makes it less common in large-scale commercial distribution but highly valued in regions where it is grown locally. Its development represents a modern approach to agriculture, where controlled breeding is used to enhance flavor and texture, rather than relying solely on traditional varieties. Canary melon. The canary melon is easily identified by its bright yellow skin, which resembles the color of a canary bird. It is believed to have originated in Asia before spreading to other warm climates around the world. Unlike many melons, its appearance gives little indication of its internal flavor, which is surprisingly mild and slightly tangy. The flesh is pale green to white and has a firm yet juicy texture. It is less aromatic than cantaloupe, but offers a clean sweetness with subtle hints of acidity, making it feel refreshing without being overpowering. The cell structure is more compact, giving it a slightly denser bite. Canary melons are typically typically harvested when fully ripe, as they do not continue to sweeten significantly after being picked. This makes timing critical in ensuring good flavor. They are also relatively durable compared to softer melons, allowing them to be transported more easily. While not as widely recognized as other varieties, the Canary melon is appreciated for its balance between sweetness and freshness, offering a different experience from the more intensely flavored melons. Bitter melon. Bitter melon stands apart from most other melons due to its distinctly sharp and bitter flavor. Native to parts of Asia and Africa, it has been cultivated for centuries, not primarily for sweetness, but for its use in traditional medicine and cooking. The fruit has a rough, ridged exterior and a pale interior filled with seeds. Its bitterness comes from compounds known as momortisins, which are believed to have various biological effects. In many cultures, bitter melon is associated with health benefits, particularly in managing blood sugar levels. Unlike sweet melons, it is rarely eaten raw. Instead, it is cooked in dishes, where its bitterness can be balanced with other flavors such as salt, spice, or fat. The texture is firm and slightly spongy, allowing it to absorb sauces during cooking. Its strong taste makes it an acquired preference, but it remains an important ingredient in many regional cuisines. Bitter melon demonstrates how the category of melon extends beyond sweetness into a much broader range of flavors and uses. The Korean melon, also known as chamo, is a small, oval fruit with bright yellow skin and white stripes running along its length. It has been cultivated in East Asia for centuries, particularly in Korea, where it is considered a seasonal staple during the summer months. The flesh is crisp and juicy, with a texture closer to a firm pear than a soft melon. Its flavor is lightly sweet with a clean, refreshing finish, lacking the heavy aroma found in cantaloupe. The seeds are small and soft, making the entire fruit easy to eat. One of its unique characteristics is its consistency. Korean melons tend to maintain a reliable texture and flavor when grown under the right conditions, making them a dependable crop. They are often eaten fresh, sometimes chilled, and do not require additional preparation, despite their relatively small size. Korean melons offer a concentrated eating experience, combining crispness with subtle sweetness in a way that distinguishes them from larger, softer melon varieties. The Santa Claus melon, also known as the Christmas melon, gets its name from its long shelf life, often lasting well into the winter months after harvest. It is believed to have originated in Spain, where it remains a popular variety. The fruit has a thick green rind with a slightly mottled appearance, which helps protect the flesh during storage. Inside, the flesh is pale green and moderately sweet, with a texture that is firm but not overly crisp. Unlike more aromatic melons, the Santa Claus melon has a relatively mild scent and flavor. Its sweetness is subtle and develops slowly, making it less immediately striking but more consistent over time. This durability is one of its defining features, allowing it to be stored and transported without significant loss of quality. Because of its long shelf life, it became an important fruit in regions where fresh produce was not always available year-round. Even today, it is valued for its ability to retain its structure and flavor long after other melons have spoiled.